On Maple Street, halfway between the little bakery and the empty lot where children played, stood a building that seemed to belong to another time. Its brickwork was weathered, its windows clouded with dust, but it wasn't the age of the place that made people slow down as they passed. It was the door, painted the deepest, richest red you could imagine. It seemed to glow faintly no matter the weather. It had no handle, no knocker, and no mail slot. People in the neighborhood said it had been there forever, though no one could recall ever seeing it open. Every morning, Daniel walked by on his way to work, and every morning he told himself he'd stop for just a moment, maybe touch it. But he never did. There was something about it, something that made you feel as if you should wait until you were invited. Then came the rainy Thursday. Daniel was late. His umbrella had flipped inside out in the wind, and the street was empty except for the sound of water rushing into drains. He reached the building, shivering, and for the first time, the door wasn't just there. It seemed to be watching him. A small envelope lay at its base, dry despite the downpour. His name was written across it in black ink. He crouched, picked it up, and looked around. No one. The envelope was sealed with a crimson wax stamp in the shape of a key. Inside was a single card. You may enter. Daniel's heart thudded. As he looked up, the door, that perfect, impossible red, now had a brass handle. He hesitated, then reached out. The handle was warm, as if it had been waiting for his touch. When he stepped inside, the air changed. It was warmer, scented faintly with cinnamon and something older, like books that had been read 100 times. The room stretched far beyond the shape of the building outside. Shelves lined the walls, filled with objects that seemed to hum softly in the stillness. An old violin, a globe with seas that shimmered, a jar of marbles that glowed faintly from within. A figure emerged from the shadows. An older woman with silver hair and eyes that caught the light in an unsettling way, like the surface of a lake. She smiled. "Welcome," she said. "It opens only for those who've been ready for longer than they realize." Daniel didn't understand the words, but somehow they felt true. He wandered through the space, touching nothing, just looking. Every item seemed to whisper a fragment of a story he couldn't quite hear. When he finally turned back, the woman was gone. The red door stood where he had entered, slightly ajar. He stepped outside into the drizzle, the card still in his hand. Behind him, the door clicked shut, and when he looked again, there was no handle. The next day, as he walked by, it was just as it had always been. No way in, no sign of him having been there, but Daniel knew it would open again someday when the invitation came. Closing quote, "Some doors open only when you believe you've been invited."